Hello and welcome to a VO's Journey podcast. My name is Anthony Pica, and this show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. I'm very excited about today's episode. We've got some interesting information to talk about. I want to talk to you about this thing that keeps popping up called ASMR. I'm excited to discuss this with you. Also, I want to talk about a new thing that I'm going to be trying, and I'm excited about it and scared at the same time. So we're going to dive into that. It has to do with marketing my services and possibly spending a boatload of money. But we'll find out. And as always, I will try to step on all the landmines first. All right, let's do it.
This is VO's Journey. With your host, the incomparable Anthony Pica.
All right, so I am excited to be back for, what is this, episode 175, and we've got a couple different things to talk to you about today. I am excited to say that busy day for me in voiceover. I have about 10 to 12 different voiceovers today. It's ended up to be between about $800 and $1,000 in voiceover work, which is very nice. And so I'm happy and pleased with how that's going. I do have some interesting thing that I want to talk to you about, which is ASMR. And what it stands for is Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. This is something that I don't have a lot of experience with, but I have started to see it pop up everywhere in a VO's Journey Facebook group. This has been talked about. I do have some voice actors that I actually coach who are actively doing this and being paid to do this as a voiceover artists. And so I thought I would dive into it, look at it, see what it's all about and how we could possibly benefit from it. So like I always say, it's important to follow trends. It's important to dive into something as soon as, we come across it, if it's showing that eyeballs are there and so forth. And I'm not saying that we're late, I'm late to the ASMR game, but I can say that I'm pretty shocked about this. Basically, if you don't know what this is, the idea behind ASMR, it seems to be a series of sounds, whispering, any type of auditory stimulus, right? That gives you some sort of either physical or emotional response. Now, to be quite clear, and I've done more research on this too, there is no scientific basis behind ASMR, meaning some people will say that, ASMR helps you go to sleep at night, or ASMR helps you get rid of anxiety or depression, right? There is no actual scientific research on this. So, we can't say conclusively that this stuff works, but I can tell you it is. I'm laughing. I know you could probably hear me smiling because as I started doing research, I was kind of taken back about what I'm seeing. So I went on YouTube and I started doing research, and basically, it literally boils down to people. So there's different types, right? You could do videos, all right, or you could do just audio. And what I see from the videos is I see a lot of people whispering, doing noises with their mouths, mouth noises. Us as voiceover artists, we hate that. But people doing things like tapping their fingers on, a tin can, rustling paper, any type of, noise that gets close to the microphone and you get this kind of intimate feeling with it. Think about raindrops, think about rain as we listen to those things and it's supposed to relax us. Well, I think this is the same sort of thing, just taking a a weird, I not say weird, but and I don't mean, if somebody does it, I apologize. It just seems like at first it seems very different to me, right? It's just an interesting step forward with the way things are, the way this is done. I mean, I think that I've seen a variety. There are definitely some people who take ASMR to that other level where it can be sultry and seductive and maybe even over the top in that sense, but it is definitely a real deal and moving big time. I mean, if you go on YouTube, you see some of these videos, I mean, there's millions and millions of views, and it literally boils down to people literally standing in front of a camera, whispering, doing interesting, like making interesting sounds with different things in their house or whatever they have available. I do see, like I said, there's a lot of, it seems that there is a seductive nature to a lot of it. But that's, that I'm not saying that's all of them. I'm just seeing what I am seeing generally populating in the, the most viewed ones. But there's also some, like I said, that aren't, they're like videos of put together that aren't someone, a person. It's just audio with pictures. So, I mean, this is definitely something that I recommend you check out. I know some people, like, for example, on Fiverr and stuff, who are doing it, who are making money with it. And, but at this particular time, I'm not making any money with it. But like I said, it keeps popping up. I keep hearing more and more people being hired to do it. And it's something that, we should jump on the train. And if you want to learn more about it, you know what I mean? Definitely go on and start checking out what people are doing. They've got they've got some really crazy stuff. Like they've got some microphones that you can make noises that are supposed to capture them like you're right there. I mean, we have very sensitive microphones anyway, so it would just be like getting up to the microphone or turning up the volume pretty loud. But I mean, there's microphones where you can like, it's crazy. Like you can lick and click and do all kinds of stuff with your mouth. Like it's like ears, and it's supposed to be extra, like it's supposed to enhance the sound on the microphone tip. It's wild to me. But, just like anything else, I think that it is something that, again, we should not disregard and should check it out. Anyways, watch me be hired for something. I'm just going to be, like licking the microphone. It's going to be bad. It's just going to be bad. Not good. And they're going to post it everywhere. Take a picture of me. Oh, I know. I probably freaked you off. You're probably like, I got to turn this off now. You've ruined it, Anthony. You've ruined my life. Anyways, so getting back to moving on to the next part. Well, anyways, just real quick, ASMR, okay, it is, I guess, the idea of this, again, low-grade euphoria, this tingling sensation that it's supposed to create on the back of your neck, or, just supposed to give you these positive feelings. That's what the whole point of this is. And it's done by, like I said, visual or auditory stimuli, and it is what it is. And yes, it literally is what you think it is. People clicking, people tapping on things. So like if I'm here, I don't know if you can hear this. You probably can't because my microphone's not turned up that way. But it would be like people doing. I don't know if you can hear that. I'll be honest with you. Personally, I'm not feeling it, but some people really, it would be silly to ignore something that millions and millions and millions of people are finding a use for, right? And we as voiceover artists, we as people who can record and do these things, it might be something that you could look into to add to your bag of tricks. Okay. All right. Well, that's the interesting first part of the podcast today. Well, anyways, the second part I want to talk to you about is, yes, the time has come, my fellow voiceoverins. The time has come to look at Google Ads. And I think that as I look around, I was talking to Miles today, Miles Chacoin. If you know him, he's the CEO of Voquent, and we were on the phone, and he brought up an interesting idea to me today. He said I could talk about it. But we share a lot of information back and forth. But he was telling me that, he sees a lot of people with website fatigue, right? Or this idea that, we are on these sites like Fiverr and these other sites too, and, we're making good money, but, it becomes, we become fatigued because, we have to continue to work through these sites, depend on these sites to get work. And I'm all for Fiverr. I'm all in 100%. I had an amazing day today on Fiverr. So, I love the site. But at the same time, me, I'm a big advocate for growing other places as well. And I think Google Ads is one of those things where you need a lot of money and you need to be able to pay the right people to optimize your stuff, or you're going to lose a lot of money. So I am definitely looking hard into moving into Google Ads. And the challenge, I think, with Google Ads too is you got to be able to be able to answer calls, being able to get back to people, being able to, vet these leads. But it could be, and it can be, a way to generate a lot of possible business. Because if you think about it, what is the main way these websites are generating business? Like Fiverr, like voices.com, like Voice123, like the Voice Realm. They're all doing it through Google Ads. All right. And possibly through, and we know Fiverr uses a lot of YouTube pre-roll ads, right? So these ads, which still owned by Google, right, is Google and YouTube. I mean, this is a main way that these people are getting business. So if we ever want to be somewhere, around that, or being able to turn on like a faucet, like a tap, and being able to turn that on and turn it back off, this is a way to go about doing it. Now, I'm aware we need some things. I need some things to have. You have to have a good website. All right. You've got to have a website that's going to inspire people to contact you, or a phone number. You've got to have some really great demos. You got to be able to, put up or shut up, if you will. Also, you've got to make sure that when you start going, that you are spending enough money, all right, to be able to see, like I was talking to Miles about this, and, he's talking about, you got to spend enough money in order to get the idea of whether this is going to, whether the keywords you're using, whether you can really take a look at this data, analyze it, and see what's working, what's not working, et cetera, et cetera. And, we're talking lots of money. I mean, thousands and thousands of dollars a month. You don't have to do that. You could do it for a couple of dollars a month if you wanted to. But I think it's the same thing that I see with, other things saying like, hey, I spent X, Y, I spent $100 and nothing happened. Well, I mean, we're trying to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars over years, right? I mean, we're going to have to spend some money. And I have thought long and hard about this for a while. So I'm getting to that point where I'm about ready to start launching that, because as something that I want to do is I want to grow the next part of my voiceover journey is to grow my monthly income from voiceover from about $10,000 to $15,000 to $15,000 to $20,000 a month. And in order to get to that, and that's for voiceover, not coaching, just voiceover, to get to that, right, I need to start bringing in a lot more traffic. I have started an email campaign, as we've talked about, and send out quite a few emails up to this point, and it's going well. But again, that's a long-term thing, right? Because you got to keep, it's one of those things where it's just like anything else, right? You build it up slowly at a time. You send out 1,000 emails, you get one client. Well, that repeat client, well, great. You send out another 1,000, you don't get 2,000, 3,000, you get another client. You send out another 3,000, you get. So eventually those clients start to build up, right? So then every email that you send out, or the more emails you send out, the opportunity to get another client. And then what happens is that after a while, again, it's that snowball effect, just like anything else. So, that's the kind of, process I'm going through over here and over here. And just, with marketing over here and marketing over there. When I set this whole thing up, 3-4 years ago, I mean, and now as I coach a lot of voice actors now, I think what I've realized is, it used to be, or, the way I was told is that you do all the things that I'm trying to do now first. Right. But see, where I did it is I went on these websites first, and I got, and I started making a lot of money, so that the money that I was making from these sites, right, spending all this money, I could then spend money to make more money for myself, because these sites were already leveraging a lot more, OPT, other people's time, other people's money than I could. So in this particular instance, when you're looking at the business plan for your business or whatever, I highly recommend you doing the same thing. You've got to find a way when you're first starting out or when you're trying to grow to leverage what you have. And if you don't have a lot of money to leverage right now, you've got to leverage other people's money or other people's time, in which case I'm talking about these websites like Fiverr, like Upwork, like voices.com, VoiceWeb, whatever, wherever you're rocking it out. Okay. You've got to leverage that. And once you start being successful on these places, it's almost like, the training grounds. You've got to take the training wheels off, and then you got to go full on. And the reason why I like to start in those places, one, is because you can build an income that's coming in every month that you can then reinvest. All right. And then build your site even bigger, build your business even bigger than what it is now. But also, you've got to be able to know, or at least it's good to have experiences to say, hey, listen, I've done, a couple thousand voiceovers. I've worked with all sorts of different clients. I've been through XYZ. I have lots of experience doing this and that. I understand what you're talking about, because, when you're telling me you want this or that, or we've got to do this, or, I've got Source Connect. Yes, I've got Source Connect. I got all these things. Like, you're completely set up and ready to go and be able to manage your own business and manage your own customers. When I first started, there was no way in HE double hockey sticks I was ready to manage my own customers. No way. No way could I have done it. No way could I have been successful at it. It would have been a big bust. So I'm very happy I took the path that I took. But it's important too, again, that you always have that goal down the road, and you don't get stuck in one place. And just like Miles was saying, you don't get this website fatigue, or this idea that you're just kind of stuck in one area and there's nowhere to grow. Okay. I mean, now again, like I said, me going after starting to think about Google ads or YouTube ads, or, even looking at Facebook ads, whatever it is, it's important to understand. And I've done this, and I want to tell you guys this because I've made some mistakes. Whatever you do, don't go into it by just tipping your, putting your foot a little bit into the water and dabbling at it. All right. Not if you are serious about getting business. If you want to just see them take money out of your account every month, go for it. But I can tell you, I have done that, especially Facebook. I have done this where I'll do a little bit here. I'm going to try it out, and you listen to the podcast, I've tried things. It has been a monumental waste. One, it's because I don't have the time to continue to, optimize my stuff day in and day out, because I'm doing everything else. I need to know how it works, but I need to be able to pay someone who knows what they're doing, who's trained to do what they're doing. Just like I've been trained to do what I'm doing, which is acting, voiceover, and coaching. I've trained my whole life on that. I've not trained my whole life on Facebook ads or Google ads or YouTube ads, right? I'd rather pay for someone who has trained their life on it or is really good at it, okay? Because I'm going to get a way better outcome than I would if I am. However, the rub is I need the money to pay them. So that's why I had to build the business first using other people's money and other people's time, like these sites, in order to be able to fund the back end of the growth of my business, which is now. Does that make sense? All right. Also, I want to point out to you, if you are having a tough time right now, just note that this is one of those times of the year where it's tough. Okay, there's usually I usually see, a couple of times of year that are tough and times that really take off. Right? I mean, clearly summer can be a tough time. This is a tough time. Right after Christmas is a really hard time. Beginning of January is a tough time. There's some really tough times that we have in voiceover. Okay. So, don't fret if you're having a tough time. The voiceover work will always come back. It will. Okay. Just keep plugging away, keep doing what you're doing, and you will be successful and end up on top. All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening. Boy, we talked about ASMR. I don't know if I'm going to put something out. I may, but I just feel like it just makes me laugh and giggle because you go and you start looking at pictures and you're like, what in the world? But there are people who are, making a lot of money doing this. And people who've become very famous and popular, especially on YouTube, I recommend you go check it out and see what you could do. And we have a setup here, where we could possibly offer something like that. So, well, thank you guys as always for listening. I appreciate it. You have a wonderful, wonderful week. I will talk to you soon. All right. Peace.